Welcome to another episode of Fired Briar. Today we've got our first review, as I'm sure you've seen in the title. We are going to be reviewing a blend today. The blend is Deacon's Downfall. So here's the tin for that. And this is a Two Friends blend, which is actually a GLP's blend that is blended by Cornell and Deal. So I did just get this tin. I popped it. Sorry I didn't pop it on camera for you. But it is a full tin. I'm just going to see what I can get from it here. So it's definitely a very heavy sort of lat forward blend. So that jumps right out at you. It has that Cyprian, smoky, woody Latakia smell to it. And definitely with that Latakia, if you've ever had one of GLP's Latakia forward blends, so something like a Quiet Nights or a Lagonda, something of that nature, you get that very, it's a very like musky, sort of mossy, earthy tone to that Latakia, and it can be quite pungent as well. So definitely the Latakia comes out to play. That's the first thing that I smell. Probably the second thing is the dark stoved Virginias. So there is Cavendish in this blend, but it's not as prominent, I don't think. It's there, but it sort of waves in the background to me. I get that sweetness, that sort of, raisin, figgy, maybe even a little bit of apricot type smell in there. So yeah, definitely the Virginias are coming out. And I can't really smell any of the Perique in there. It might have a little kick to the spice. But basically all I'm smelling is Latakia and Virginia with a back kick of Cavendish. The Orientals and the Perique seem basically non-existent to me in the tin note. So it's just a very heavy, sort of woodsy, smoky, pungent, musky Latakia type smell, and then you get a whiff of that sweetness coming in right off those Virginias. So I will show you the leaf so you can see what it looks like. So here's the leaf itself. As you can tell, it's a very dark blend, very dark blacks and browns there. So not a lot of Oriental, as you can see. There's not too many yellows going on. But other than that, yeah, it's a nice looking dark blend there. So, and it's got that sort of shaggy ribbon cut to it. So it's not like one of those long Dunhill ribbon cuts. Sort of like a shag, more like a shag cut, I'd say. So I'll read you the tin description here. So the tin description says, dark and mysterious, Deacon's Downfall is rich with Latakia, black Cavendish, dark stoved Virginias, and Perique. A bit of Oriental leaf adds an exotic spice to this mixture for those seeking a bold, powerful taste without being harsh or overwhelming. So we'll go ahead, I'll light this up, we'll see what this blend has in store for us. We'll see if it really is sort of that comfortable Latakia with the Virginias without being harsh or overwhelming, because it definitely seems pretty lat forward. So we'll see if it's a lat bomb or not. I have read online people say that it is lat forward, but it's not a lat bomb. So we'll give it a shot. I'm gonna go fire up my briar here, and I'll be back with you in a second. We'll do some real tasting notes. So I've got my pipe all set up here and packed with the Deacon's Downfall. I'm going to be smoking this in my BC Formula 1601. I do just want to add as well that the tin, in terms of moisture content, I'd say that it was, adequate, just right. It wasn't overly moist, and it wasn't dry. I'd say it's bang on. You can smoke it out of the tin. I don't think that it's going to be any better with drying time. So I'd say that it's fine on the moisture content levels. The other thing as well, I do want to point out this tin is actually from June of 2017. So it's about a week shy of 1 year on top of that. So keep that in mind if you do order it and you get a new tin. You know, I don't know how much 1 year is really going to do of age, but this tin is from June of 2017. So it's about a year old there. With my pipe, I've got some Vanilla Zero just to go along with that there as my drink of choice. So let's go ahead, we'll fire this up and I'll let you know what I think. We'll get the charring light started. So as you can see, it took to the flame quite well. There's no real need for drying time in my opinion there. So one thing that's surprising me is with the tin note, I really, didn't smell any of the Orientals. There was no, bready, yeasty type of aroma going on there, but you can definitely taste it. It's definitely in there. So that comes out a lot more than I thought it would. And I'd say the Latakia is actually coming out less than I thought it would as well. No surprise on the Cavendish or the Dark Stove Virginias. I think they're doing their job. They're playing their role. They're definitely there. Like I said in the tin note, the Perique seems to be non-existent in the tin note. Smoking the blend, it's fairly non-existent as well. Maybe a little nuance of it. But I wouldn't base any sort of tasting notes or decisions on whether or not to try this blend off the Perique. If you're someone that really likes Perique, you're not going to find it in here. If you're someone that really does not like Perique, I wouldn't be scared of it. I'd say it's basically close to non-existent. I don't think it's something that comes out much, if at all. But the Orientals did surprise me. They are coming out. You definitely get that sweetness. The Virginias for sure are there. So you can definitely get that. I'd say overall it's a good combination. They did nail it with the tin description on being, not overwhelming. It is a very sort of heavy blend, but it is good at not being harsh. So you can get those Virginias in there. You do get the Latakia in there. Like I said in the tin note, the Cavendish is sort of just blending its way in and out throughout the blend as you smoke. By no means is it harsh at all. I'd say it's a good blend. I'm not sure if it would make my rotation as an ongoing blend. I think it is a good blend. I will definitely 100% smoke the entire tin that I have. So it was not money wasted. I would probably order it again, but it would most likely not be a mainstay in my rotation there. Um, I'd say if I were to rate it out of 10, um, I'd probably likely give it about a 7. It's a solid effort. Um, yeah, that raisin figgy apricot aroma is definitely in the tin note and in the tasting notes for sure. It's in there. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to keep smoking this blend. I'm going to finish up the bowl here. I'm going to come back with my full diagnostic report on whether or not you should give this blend a shot, and what I think of it personally. So I'm going to finish off this bowl, I'll come back, I'll let you know what I think. Alright, so I'm getting down to the end of the bowl here. And I'd say that my opinion hasn't changed too much, but there are a couple things that I noticed. So, I'm gonna say the first big thing that I noticed is going down the bowl. I'd say after the first, quarter, third, the tasting notes became more uniform. So, the blend really held together, and the creaminess sort of came out in it. I wouldn't say this blend is a very complex or nuanced blend. I'd say it's fairly uniform straight through. So the flavors doesn't change. It's pretty simple and basic when it comes down to it. So whatever you get at the beginning is more or less what you get at the end. Yeah, there's that subtle creaminess to it, but largely the Virginias don't change. You got that raisin fig, apricotness, sweetness going on. You've got the Cavendish, as I said before, just kind of making its way through the blend. The only other thing that I might say is in the beginning I said the Perique was non-existent, and it largely is, but definitely it is there. I still wouldn't be scared of it if you don't like Perique, and if you do like Perique, you're going to be disappointed because it's very, very, background. It's not coming out to play very much. It's more like a hint of spice, especially on the retrohale. You can sort of pick it up on that retrohale. But as I said, it's in the background. It's not making any waves. It's the ripple, right? So I'm gonna stick with my review and my rating. So I'm gonna give this two friends, Deacon's Downfall here. As I said, it's a solid 7 out of 10. I don't think it's anything more than a 7. I don't think it's anything less. It is a good blend. I definitely will smoke the whole thing. I will order more in the future. It's just not going to be a mainstay blend. If you haven't tried it, pick up a tin. It's fairly cheap. I got this one from Smoking Pipes. I pretty much get everything from Smoking Pipes, so not to, go on about that, and people might say I'm paid and everything else. I'm not, but definitely it's made by C&D, so Smoking Pipes is gonna have it. Check it out, see if it's for you. As I said, it is lat heavy. Everything that I read about it is pretty spot on. I think the most important piece though is in the tin description. It says it's not overwhelming, it says it's not harsh. And I would agree 100%. I think that they nailed that on the tin description. I think the blend nailed that. It's just a good, harmonious, lat-forward, musky, heavy blend. And I think that's why it's a little bit hard to get those notes of the Perique and the spice in there. I think they did add that, but it's probably got to be a small amount. I'm guessing it's, 5% of the mixture. It's got to be a very, very small content level. So it's there, it's way in the background. So don't let it scare you off, as I said, if you don't like the Perique. Other than that, I think that's about it for this review. If there are any reviews that you guys would like to see for particular blends, let me know. If I don't have the blend, I will definitely order it. And then we can go from there and I'll review that for you guys. So let me know what you thought in the comments, and until then, keep your briar fired.